Imagine booking your dream cruise on one of the world's most popular cruise lines, only to realize within hours of boarding it's not for you. So many things are wrong. I don't want that to happen to anyone. That's why I'm going to compare these four. While they're the biggest cruise lines in the world and all seem so similar because they all promise fun, they have loads of onboard venues, they have great prices, but in reality, they're very different, as you will discover. Welcome aboard, I'm Gary Bembridge, and I'm going to break down exactly what each does best, what they don't do so well, and who they're really for, so you can avoid an expensive mistake. But before that, let me explain what they all do have in common. The world's four biggest lines based on passengers carried are Royal Caribbean, Norwegian Cruise Line, MSC Cruises, and Carnival Cruise Line. Think of these four as the resort lines of the cruise world. Like land resorts, the ships are a destination themselves. They're large, they're carrying thousands of passengers, they have dozens of venues. Dining options range from casual burgers to fancy specialty restaurants. There's Broadway and West End level shows. There's an endless range of activities for a wide range of interests and a high energy atmosphere. They also have the lowest starting fares in the cruising world, sometimes even from as low as $55 per person per night in the low season. But here's where all the similarities end. Let me dive into their differences, starting with what they are best known for. Royal Caribbean is best known for having the biggest and most innovative ships in cruising today. Their mega ships are packed with surf simulators, zip lines, ice rinks, and have up to 6 different themed neighborhoods. Their biggest negative, though, is some find their ships a bit overwhelming, noisy, and just too busy. Norwegian is best known for pioneering freestyle cruising with no fixed dining times or dress codes, tons of dining choices, strong entertainment, and the pride of America, the only ship that's allowed to sail Hawaii year-round. They're also seen as really good for solos due to their solo studio cabins area and for luxury seekers due to their suites-only The Haven area. Their biggest negative is many people feel they're constantly nickel and dimed once they're on board with extra charges for many, many things. MSC Cruises is best known for providing a more European experience compared to the other three more American one. They're very competitive pricing with kids traveling for free, and for the yacht club, they're good value premium ship within a ship area. Their biggest negatives are a reputation for poor customer service, inconsistent dining that doesn't always cater that well for North American tastes, and all their announcements and their programs are done in 6 different languages. Carnival is best known for having what they call the fun ships, which are affordable, lively, casual, with a focus on a party vibe and crowd-pleasing on-deck activities. Their biggest negative is a reputation for rowdy and bad behavior on board, reinforced by constantly new rules and bans that they occasionally introduce to tackle it. With what they're best known for in mind, let's now dive into more detail on these cruise line differences. I'm going to start with the fleet and itineraries, but then move on to fares, cabins, dining, entertainment, and importantly, who they're best for and why. Knowing the fleet and itinerary differences is really key because that may immediately narrow down which of these 4 lines are actually best suited to you based on where you want to go and where they can actually take you. Royal Caribbean has the largest fleet, with at the time of recording 28 ships carrying from 2,000 to 7,600 passengers. They offer the widest global footprint, including the Caribbean, Alaska, Europe, Asia, Australia, Canada, New England, and South America, as well as offering several private destinations, including Perfect Day at Coco Cay, Labadee, and now in Costa Maya. Norwegian has the smallest fleet of the 4, with 19 ships spread across 6 different classes, but more like the other lines are on order. They do though offer the second widest range of regions to cruise to, including the Caribbean, Alaska, Hawaii, Europe, Asia, South America, and Africa. They also have private islands including Harvest Key and Great Stirrup Key. MSC Cruises has a large fleet of 24 ships and growing fast with bigger ships like the new MSC World America, MSC World Asia. These ships cater for up to 6,700 passengers. They do sail several regions, but are very focused on the Mediterranean and are building their routes in the Caribbean, Northern Europe, the Middle East, South America and Africa. They do have a private island, Ocean Key. Carnival has the second biggest fleet with 27 ships, and their ships are getting bigger and bigger, with Carnival Jubilee, for example, carrying over 6,600 passengers. They are mostly focused on the United States, with many home ports and many short Caribbean, Bahamas and Mexican itineraries. But they do sell in Alaska, Australia, and they do have some European routes, but they have the smallest global footprint of all of these four big lines. Let me talk a little bit about pricing differences next. All offer affordable fares across most grades, and inside cabins can start, as I mentioned, from as low as $55 per person per night out of season. But here are some really notable differences by cruise line. Royal Caribbean fares do tend to be higher than Carnival and MSC Cruises, especially for their newer ships, where demand is always really high. And I can see that their starting prices are often closer to $90 per person per night. Their larger suite fares match those actually of ultra-luxury lines like Seabourn and Regent Seven Seas. They're very pricey. Norwegian Cruise Line pricing is much more similar to Royal Caribbean, with the Haven again often costing the same as a suite on those ultra-luxury lines too. MSC Cruises is usually on the lower end of pricing in this category, often the lowest in Europe, and very competitive in the Caribbean, helped of course by their kids cruise free offer. The Yacht Club is, as mentioned, the most affordable ship within a ship across all categories of cruising, often costing just between $300 and $600 per night. Carnival, broadly speaking, will often have the lowest average fares, especially in the Caribbean, and MSC and them tend to be much lower price compared to the other two in this category. What about cabins? Are there any big differences? All four offer a wide range from budget-friendly inside cabins right through to high-end suites, but each line has their own signature twists. Royal Caribbean, partly because of the scale of their newer ship classes, has the widest range and types of cabins. They have some of the largest and most expensive suites on any line, like the multi-story Ultimate Family Suites. They have a whole of star-class butler service suites, but then they also have very innovative virtual balcony inside cabins, and they have cabins at every grade that can hold at least 6 guests to cater for families on all budgets. Norwegian also has a wide range and family cabins, but their solo studios with private lounge and the Haven Luxury Enclave with pool, lounge and concierge are seen as their most standout features when it comes to cabins. MSC Cruises, with their big focus on the family market, has many multiple occupancy cabins at all grades. But again, their most notable feature is the Yacht Club, that luxury ship within a ship. And it has great prices with butler, private restaurant and pool. Unlike all other line ship within ships, they're the only ones that have inside cabins as well as suites within the Yacht Club. Carnival, again with focus on family, has many options for multiple occupancy. They generally have fewer suite options than the other lines, but it has a reputation as well for generally slightly larger standard cabins than average in the category. Next, I'm going to explore if there are big differences in dining that you need to know about. While all four on the surface appear to have broadly similar approach to dining, there are some key differences. All, of course, have main dining rooms, a buffet, casual venues, and specialty restaurants, but there are nuances in style, choice, and quality. Royal Caribbean, in my view, is the most solid all-rounder when it comes to dining. Standouts include things like the Windjammer Buffet, El Loco Fresh, Johnny Rocket's Burgers, Chops Grill, Izumi, Jamie's Italian, and the themed Wonderland. Norwegian offers the most flexibility and is definitely more casual overall. Standouts here include Sheehan's, the Local, and the new Indulge Food Hall, which is a great flexible addition. Their specialty restaurants like Cagney's, La Bistro, Teppanyaki, and my favorite, the Food Republic, are consistently good. MSC stands out from the others with their European-inspired cuisine with good pasta and pizza from their Italian roots. But as mentioned, they get the harshest reviews about the quality and consistency of all the four, mostly from North American travelers. Carnival stands out most for their American comfort food focus, with regular Carnival cruisers really loving venues like Guy's Burger Joint, Blue Iguana Cantina. Their main dining room and buffet usually have less variety than Royal Caribbean and Norwegian, but it's solid, probably reflecting their more value-based fares. What about entertainment and activities? Where do these lines differ? There are bigger differences in entertainment and activities amongst these four than many cruisers actually appreciate on the surface. Royal Caribbean is the leader of the pack for entertainment, in my view. They have huge entertainment teams, over 250 on my last Symphony of the Seas trip, serving up full Broadway productions, ice skating shows, aqua theatre shows, and activities like those wave riders, zip lines, climbing walls, and even skydiving simulators. Norwegian has historically been very strong in big theatre shows, with some Broadway shows like Beetlejuice that I saw on Viva, though they have started to cut back here with more in-house shows replacing those. They have a big live music focus. They like glitzy game shows and late night comedy and music. MSC Cruises is probably the weakest of the four, running shorter song and dance reviews to get around that 6-language approach they have, which does also limit the ability to run some traditional cruise favorites like trivia. They do focus a lot on big themed nightly parties in the main atrium, along with other high energy performances there earlier in the evenings. Carnival has a more laid-back approach to entertainment, with more focus on fun events to fit their fun ship's promise. So lots of comedy clubs, deck parties, karaoke, pool games, and smaller scale theatre production shows than some of the others, but still popular shows. So bearing all this in mind, who are all of these lines aimed at, and who is each best for, and why? As you will see, they are best for really quite different people in my view. Royal Caribbean is for cruisers who want a floating theme park with lots of big scale entertainment and things to do, making them best for families with kids of all ages, multi-generational groups, and active, action-seeking couples and friend groups. Norwegian Cruise Line is for cruisers who love flexibility, casual dress codes, and a busy music-focused nightlife, making them best for independent-minded travelers, night owls, and because of those dedicated areas, they're good for solos and luxury suite lovers who still want all the choices in entertainment that a big ship can offer them. On the other hand, MSC Cruises is for cruisers wanting a more European experience, a more cosmopolitan international crowd on board, and all doing it within a budget, making them best for budget-conscious travelers, especially families, and those who want more luxury, but it needs to be at a more affordable price. Carnival is for cruisers who want a lively, high-energy, fun, party atmosphere that's casual but affordable, and so making them best for budget-conscious and sociable couples, friend groups, and families, especially Americans, because that is the line's key focus. They're also great for those looking for short, inexpensive breaks, because they have many of these as options. If you decided though that these resort value lines aren't for you, why don't you join me over in this video where I dive into the premium cruise lines, including Holland America, Princess, Celebrity, Cunard, and Virgin. See you over there.